Hey everybody, welcome to this week's Chuck Chat. I didn't really have a subject this week, but I just wanted to chat.
Okay.
It's just such a freaking crazy world out there right now. Every day is, I'm on a roller coaster.
Yeah.
It's just from election, all the stuff happening, and as we're doing this now, we're in another impeachment of a president we don't even have in office anymore, and the COVID stuff. And I've been so bothered by all the kids in school. I think that's the thing that's bothered me the most. Mm-hmm. And so I was watching TV the other day, and so many states have not reopened schools, and teen suicide is way up. Teens who can't go to sports, they can't go to proms, they can't go to dances. And luckily we have a vaccine out.
Well, in Florida, we are so blessed. I was just telling someone today, well, we know we've had 3 very large restaurants that are super active, very interested, want to open new locations with us. And that's a big change, but it's showing, okay, our schools are open here in Florida. The kids are going back to school in Florida. We're very blessed to be here. But yeah, it is hard to think that some states don't have that opportunity.
I know we have 1,000 people, for all you real estate people, 1,000 people moving here a day. And that's why everything's really starting to pop back, and I'm really seeing a shift in, well, I'll tell everybody, in the way our company will do business in the future. We used to build a lot of these small strip centers, and now I really strongly feel that everything we do needs to have a grocery anchor. Yeah. Whether it's Publix or a Whole Foods or whatever, any of the groceries out there. I just think it's so important because before we always built Amazon proof, and but now it's just, as the mentality's different out there.
It is.
And if you don't have the apartments and a grocery and more synergy to the development, it's just not going to fly. Mm-hmm. And I've seen with lenders, they're very nervous to do things other than a very solid grocery anchor deal or apartments. Mm-hmm. And luckily we're in both of those spaces, but I just don't want to chase the small strip center deals anymore because they make me nervous.
Yeah, and it is interesting because pre-COVID we were focused on those entertainment driven, and we still want those components to our centers, but it's a challenge to try to figure out what's going to drive the daily users that you have, that you physically have to go into. So I think we're kind of creating this combination of both the Instagrammable moments that are exciting, entertaining, but also things that are necessary items, your groceries, your services. Those are very important in our centers now.
And I'll tell you, boy, didn't all the movie companies screw the movie theaters?
I know.
You saw during the Super Bowl, mm-hmm. The new Marvel movie is being streamed. And then there was another big movie, I can't remember which one, is being streamed. And we're like, with our Fashion Square development, we were going to do a theater. And I just don't know if they're going to make it in the future, even with the dine-in, because everybody is now paying a bigger price, and they found throughout this pandemic that successfully they could stream them and make money. And it's going to change the face of what we do.
And I think when you go off theaters, it's interesting to see the theaters evolving. We've seen a couple of theaters that have turned into they've added this laser tag component or a bar, because we are still social beings. So if you can sit at your house and watch these movies, okay, how do you create this social atmosphere? And so they're evolving just like we are. But I don't think movie theaters will fully die. They just are going to have to change to smaller theaters and add more to them.
Right, and make it more interesting. We have a really, really cool meeting today. Can't tell you who it's with, but hopefully we can announce who it is if we make the deal. But this is an entertainment thing that does everything. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's pure entertainment. Yeah. And they need 10 to 15 acres for, imagine one venue, 10 to 15 acres. And so they're going to talk to us about O-Town today. And speaking of O-Town, holy shit, it's killing it. We're almost leased. We're almost fully leased. We have Portillo's opening up next month.
Yeah.
And boy, what a push that's been. That thing went quickly. And
largest White Castle in the world.
Largest White
open
Castle.
Soon. That one's vertical. Our apartments, you've got the garage is up.
The garage is up. The clubhouse is coming up.
Clubhouse is up.
The contractor, Roger Kennedy, says it's the nicest clubhouse in the state of Florida.
That's awesome.
And so I'm very, very excited to see that.
Yeah.
And we've got the brick roads in and buildings coming up, and it's very.
It's the one project that I say when we talk about adding more to anything. I said I'd be fine adding more to O-Town because I'm getting calls in now that I can't place them because getting fully leased. So that's a good thing.
I made a call last night trying to buy another 15 or 20 acres adjacent us, and I think I might be successful at that.
Okay.
So we can add on more.
Any secrets.
The highway is going to start soon.
Yep.
The interchange. So I'm looking forward to that. And O-Town, the funny thing with O-Town is I've heard some people in the community say, oh, we thought you were going to do more of this or more of that than what you did. And I actually think it's the perfect, one, it's leased up. So that worked, right?
Yeah,
but, but it was always our intent to take the city center piece, the boardwalk piece, that one piece was going to be our entertainment.
Yes.
The whole rest of the project was never meant to be entertainment. It's meant to
you can't do 300 acres of entertainment. That's not a successful project. It's going to take, you want different components to it.
It's for the entire community,
right.
which will benefit from tourism. It'll benefit from conventions, but it benefits from the local neighborhoods.
Yes.
But the piece against I-4, where we're doing Marriott Vacation Club World Headquarters, and we always intended to do 3 great restaurants and a great hotel. And I have an announcement, maybe, hopefully soon, of a very, very exciting development happening with the hotel. And we've got...
We got a line of restaurants. Just today, I called Chuck. I said, we've got to get going on this because I have restaurants lined up that want to be here and exciting concepts that are not in Florida right now. And that was super encouraging to me because, during COVID, you saw those restaurants that were just kind of stalled, struggling. And now they're saying, okay, if we're going anywhere, we're going to Florida. We're going to Orlando.
Well, think about that. Hats off to Ron DeSantis, keeping Florida open, the great state of Florida. We've got so many people who want to restaurants and people who move here, everything. I was listening to Ron DeSantis the other day, Governor DeSantis, and he's talking about people who move their kids here so they can play sports because of COVID.
Yeah.
And so now we've got these great restaurants from New York, from Miami, and saying, hey, we want to be here. This is where we want to concentrate development because we stayed open. Yeah. And so the economic impact for everybody who's in real estate is going to be great.
It's going to be great
for a long time to come. And it's amazing how all of a sudden I got a great restaurant, then you've got a couple, and then I got another one since we've talked, and it's like we're being bombarded today, and we only have 4 choices. We planned on 3 out parcels in one part of the hotel, 4 great restaurants, and I don't think we're gonna have any problem doing that whatsoever.
No, but it's just so exciting to me. I love hearing it because it was last year, we had these Chuck chats and it was discouraging, and you've got restaurants we're calling restaurants to expand and they just sound very discouraged, and just to hear that they're ready to go is very exciting.
Last year sucked. This year sucks less.
There's different challenges. We're seeing a lot of challenges in 21, but they're so different. And one of ours is that we have a lot of projects going up at the same time, but once they're all up, it's going to be great. And
so I bet you don't know, George came in my office yesterday. George runs the entire development team. And he came in my office yesterday and he says, Chuck, do you know how many square feet we have totally under development? Not stuff we own already, but totally under development. And I guessed a couple and I was completely wrong. How many square feet do you think, including our apartments, including our retail centers, including everything we're doing? Do you know how many square feet?
a couple million.
He said between 7 and 8 million square feet.
I believe it.
And I'm like,
absolutely.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's like 5 or 6 Florida malls.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's including the apartments, he's including the
St. Regis?
The Marriott, he's including the St. Regis. But yes, St. Regis alone is 600,000 square feet, which we're very, very excited on that. We've, for anybody who's been following it, 8 years I've been working on it as of next month in April. And next month's March. So in April, 8 years. And we've finally finished all the litigation, and we're in for permit. Everything's resolved. I mean, I'll tell you, I wrote this book, Perseverance.
Yeah.
That thing I've had to persevere on more than anything ever in my development career. And you've been part of all that, and it's exciting. And we're selling like crazy. I don't know.
That's amazing.
We sold 5 last week, the weekend before last, not Super Bowl weekend. And Super Bowl weekend, we sold 3. So we sold 8 in 1 week.
I believe it.
And these things are cheap.
It's going to be awesome.
They're like the last contract I signed the other day was $7.8 million.
That's awesome.
So it tells you once again the strength of the Florida real estate market.
Yes, absolutely.
And waterfront as well. Everybody always wants waterfront.
Yeah.
And then we built a subdivision up the street called Carmel. We've sold out of that. All the lakefront lots are sold.
That's awesome.
And it's just amazing. We have
and the Ritz Carlton Residences.
Yeah,
Those
the Ritz
are
Carlton
about
Residences.
finished.
We have 9 of them built. We have 6 of them sold. We seem to be selling one every 5 or 6 days at this point, which is good. They're $2.5 million, so they're selling.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to do a Chuck Chat today because I've been on such a roller coaster ride. Like today, we had a really good day, and today was just a great day. A couple days ago wasn't a great day, and I just feel like, and with everybody out there, there's so many ups and downs, and you got to get past the down days.
Yeah.
And the down days are good drinking days, and the good days are good drinking days.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Different type of drinking.
it's hard out there, and I know, like with our company, and I gotta say, it's nose to the grindstone every day. There's some days where I just going nuts, and I know you are too. I've seen you, and then there's some days where it's like, wow, this is amazing. And as a matter of fact, we've got to go to New York in a couple weeks, and my daughter said, Dad, can we stay 2 days? Because she wants to go. And I said, we probably have a lot of stuff to do up there. Meet bankers, go see some of the restaurant concepts we're talking to, and it's like today is such an exciting day because we're the hard work pays off later, and all of a sudden you start getting the velocity. But you got to keep pushing away at it to get there.
Yeah.
And it's been, with everything last year, banks and tenants, but it's all coming together.
It is coming together. And I think for me, and we've talked about this, different portions of our company go through those challenging seasons, obviously with development. Okay, you have leasing, then you have development, then you have, turning over to the tenants. But I think going through those hard seasons, it's still hard right now, but I think you develop this endurance or just change your way of thinking, and it makes it not seem as bad. We talk a lot about positive perspective and just changing our mindset. And so I think that going into 21, that's been very important, learning that from 2020, because a lot of us were disappointed or faced challenges in 2020. It's changed our mindset for 21.
You evolve and you become stronger. Taylor uses the word seasons. And,
yes.
And I picked that up from Taylor because it's
different seasons.
You go through a winter and a fall and a spring and a summer, and it's not constant. And I've said before, like even when Jim Henry was here, is that he always said in church, if you're not in a storm, you're on your way to one.
Yep.
And if you're in a storm, you're on the way out of it. Yep. And that can happen daily. It can happen weekly, and it's a lot of seasons in our business and our world right now. And the good thing is I probably to nausea track the COVID cases in Florida and track the vaccines, and the cases are coming way down. It's great. They are 1/3 of what they were 2.5 months ago.
That's awesome.
And the deaths, if you look at the graph, they've plummeted. But it's a scary thing. I mean, I'll pay tribute to Steven Stebbs from Avid Engineering. He helped me when I started my development career, and what a great guy. And he got COVID, and 10 days later he had passed away, and I went to his funeral last week. So it's real. You got to be careful, even though we're trying to continue to live our lives. It's scary as heck. And just as we sit here today, my good friend Ted is in the hospital, and they said we'll be there for at least 5 more days. And he went from 104, now he's down to 101, and you just don't know. Some people, like when I got it, it was just a couple days I felt bad. I mean, honestly, I thought I was hungover, and I've had a couple other friends get it, and it wasn't bad. It was just like, no big deal. And then here, Ted gets it, and 2.5 days after he gets it, he's in the hospital. Mm-hmm. So you've got to be careful. And when the vaccines become available to everybody needs to do it. But that's what's gonna to cycle our economy back, I think, on a daily basis. As more people are vaccinated, I think we've done 10% in Florida. As more people are vaccinated, they get more comfortable going out, the deaths go down. And even Dr. I use the F-head word, Fauci. Dr. Fauci, who's annoying as all get out, because wear a mask, don't wear a mask, wear 2 masks. He's saying wear 2 masks now. I mean, you heard it, wear 2 masks. And anyhow, but you can grab a door handle going in the restaurant. I mean, it's
confusing.
It doesn't make sense. But anyhow, even he said that he thinks by fall that we shouldn't be wearing masks anymore. That if everything keeps trending the way. Don't you hate it? You don't get to see what people's faces are like anymore.
I know.
Only
it's
the
terrible.
eyes.
It's terrible.
I saw a mask the other day. I was going to order. You can take a selfie of yourself and you send it in.
It's the second half of your face.
And it's the second half of your face. And there was a guy on TikTok. And he walked in somewhere, and they're like, "Sir, put on your mask. Sir, put on your mask." He's like, gosh. "My mask is on," because it was his face, which I kind of think that'd be fun to do, just funny. To screw with people a little bit.
Yeah.
Because everybody's. Have you noticed Mask Patrol? It's like,
Oh, I was just in Colorado, and oh my gosh, I was talking to somebody about my ski lift pass not working. I'm talking to the guy, he couldn't hear me, so I moved it down. And on his walkie-talkie, they go, "That girl doesn't have her mask on." I'm like, who is watching me? I was like, why?
It's crazy. And it's let a bunch of people be like, I don't know, control freaks. Yeah. And I was.
Anyways, there's pros and cons of it.
No, I know. I was just skiing in Park
too.
City, and when I was coming down the slope, I took it off because I couldn't breathe. And by the time I got to the bottom of the slope, the guy's like, "You gotta put your mask on." I'm like, "Yeah, I was out there by myself on the slope. It's back on." And so it is. But as someone who like me now, who's had a friend die and a friend in the hospital, you realize it's serious.
It is serious.
But we seriously too want to go back to normal life.
Yes.
And so hopefully, we do see the trend continue and cases go down. And can you imagine? I mean, think about it. A year ago, this is February, right? Mid-February. A year ago, I got COVID March 13th, Friday the 13th, coming back from New York. A year ago, we never knew anything about a mask, about COVID.
Oh, there's so many things a year ago that we didn't know anything about. If you would ask somebody, so did you get tested? We would have no idea, what are they talking about? And now it's so normal just to ask these terms.
Taylor and I went to this thing where the county gave me an award, and it was vile looking at each table. The words that we use in society now: quarantine, stay-at-home order, quarantine, stay-at-home order, put on your mask, 6 feet apart. You can't even cheer.
Yeah, I was wondering
social
though,
distancing.
I was watching a movie last night, and I was like, do you think they're going to start making movies and it's going to be normal that to show the times that people are wearing masks in movies, but it's not related to COVID, but just a normal thing that masks are going to be in, I don't know, it's just normal life. I hope that it ends in the fall and it doesn't carry on, because some people say that, oh, it should be a normal thing that would carry on.
The actors would be cheaper if you didn't have to see their faces.
Gosh, I know.
So my friend,
less skincare products. They just said that.
Just your eyes. I was wondering, do women just do their eyes now? And
I don't.
But my friend, his daughter's getting married, Sydney Goldberg, and they are seriously considering postponing the wedding a year because they're supposed to get married in June. Yeah. And she doesn't want people in her wedding pictures to have masks on because they're going to get married at the Breakers in Palm Beach, and they have a strict mask policy. And how would you like to be in the middle of your reception and have it shut down saying, "You're not wearing your mask, everybody go home"? And so, I mean, think about how it's, I mean, that's, I don't know, I say minor, I guess wedding's major, but, can't have a normal wedding because of what's going on. And to think a year ago, our world was not like this. And think about this too. So everybody who's busy out there, imagine how busy we would be without COVID, without the crazy election we had, without the crazy politics going on in our world. Imagine if that didn't happen and we didn't have COVID. I mean, it all happened and we are where we are. But if that didn't happen, and so I started thinking to myself, I was thinking it on the way over here, that 2020 was a hard year, but we did okay. And 2021 is starting off to be a good year. It's like if there's 5 years in a car, it feels like we're in second or third gear. We're not going full, but I feel like toward the end of this year and next year we're going to be fully accelerating. I just think I think there's going to be so much business to be done out there, the pent up demand, people going on vacations as soon as I think this New Year's Eve, last one I kind of thought was going to be a celebratory one, but we kind of went the next day and wear mask again. But I think next year, this year, the end of 2021, when we do New Year's Eve celebration, knowing that this year is over, the masks are over, it all should be over. I mean, that's what we're all working toward.
22 will be a great year. I think 21 is going to be a great year too. And I honestly do think, you can think what would happen if we hadn't had COVID, but we're doing okay. And I think, our projects it could have been worse. And our projects are moving forward. And I think we had, we overcame a lot. I know I don't think I would have grown the way that I did if it weren't for COVID. I will say that's such a blessing to me. Because I went through that, I learned a lot about how to hustle. It did.
And you took over the entire leasing role, which
Yes.
you've done excellent. And so I think both, but you're right. I mean, you got to look at what we're thankful for.
Right. You look at it happened, so what did we gain out of it?
And what was the commercial at the Super Bowl, making lemons into lemonade? And we've done that.
Yeah.
And, the thing with COVID too, you're right. Because the other side of that is, what if COVID was just a super killer? What if everybody who got infected died from it? And all the people we've had infected, I would have been dead if it killed everybody. So I guess to be thankful is it's not a super killer that it could be. It's only kills 1%. 1%'s a lot. We're up to over 500,000 deaths as we sit here today. But the thankful part is that we as a country got a vaccine quickly. I mean, record time, and we're going to heal from it. We are going to heal from it. I know, and that's kind of like the other night when I was literally a little depressed, and I was thinking, how COVID's effed up everything. And I mean, we are getting through it, but the light is that we are, approaching the end of this thing, and we're going to be able to look back and say, wow, that was a tough time, but
it was tough.
But we made it.
It was really tough. Yeah.
And we're getting there. So, I'm excited about everything we're doing. I'm excited about what's coming up.
Me too.
And it's great to have, O-Town come out of the ground as far as it is. And we've been blessed as a company.
Very blessed.
And I just want other people to know out there that if you are home, if you are depressed, it's going to turn around.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing. I always convince myself when I have a bad day that tomorrow's a new day, and it's amazing. Just the right song on the radio, or the sun being out perfectly, or that one good phone call, and and that's the other thing. Is I always say what Joe Antonovich, my architect, said: it's free to be nice. Be nice to people you encounter, because everybody's having a tough time right now, and you just don't know what people are going through. It's scary things that happen on a day-by-day basis, and
it is. And choosing, we talked a lot about that. Choosing, on those bad days, okay, how can I do the next best thing? This day is not getting any better. Let me just do the next best thing, and then eventually you overcame that season. Yeah.
Yeah, and watch lots of Netflix. I'm watching a new show on Netflix called Imposters.
Oh, it's good.
It is so good.
I haven't watched all of it, but I watched some of it, yeah.
It is a great show. I mean, it's one of those you watch one episode and then you got to watch the next episode. I don't think we've talked about too, which we're excited about, Tropicana Field. There was 7 successful developers that gave an RFP, request for a proposal, to the city of St. Petersburg, and we are one of them. And quite frankly, I went through all 7 of them. There's 2 or 3 that are the top 2 or 3. I would say we are certainly one of them. I talked to a reporter yesterday, and he asked, what was our approach? Because our approach is completely different than everybody else's. Our approach was to really create a community. And I think the other developers looked at it as developing a project and taking a rectangle and saying, this is my project. Where we looked at it, and Natalie, Hector, and everybody, y'all did great. Everybody here worked on it and did well together. But we took the approach of creating a community, because the community where the Rays Stadium is felt like they got dissed a long time ago by the houses being taken, and it really didn't benefit their community. And so, like I told the reporter yesterday on the phone, I said, look at Central Park, New York. I said, Central Park, people want to live around it because they can go to it. And I said, it doesn't matter if you're white, black, brown, what race you are, what religion you are, whether you're young, old, kids, no kids, everybody goes to the park, and they play in the park, and they take their dogs and their kids. And that was the thoughts behind the St. Petersburg project, which we call Petersburg Park, is to really create a great park and then build around it. And then the park will benefit the entire community for blocks away. And so we're excited to see in the upcoming weeks what happens with that and what's going to happen with the Rays. I mean, we would love to work a deal with the Rays to do something with them.
Fun.
And so that's an exciting project. If we get it, it's 100 just under 100 acres. I think it's 85 acres. And so that's
great.
And then another one we're looking at right now, which is kind of funny. Jessica, who we did a Chuck Chat a long time ago with, her and I went up to Sanford the other day to look at, do you remember Flea World?
No.
So
I don't.
Flea World
I don't know Sanford very well.
What's the word?
Is it like...
It was a flea market. I'm sorry. In a flea world. It was a flea market, a giant flea market. And this guy bought it. He ends up dying. and leaves it to the Boys and Girls Club. And they were surprised I got this giant gift. And they came to me and said, would you consider developing it? And it was funny, I took Jessica up the other day and she said, see this little scar on my pinky? I got bit by an ostrich there.
Oh, no.
And because they had a petting zoo, an ostrich bit her. But it's a 100-acre project too that we're looking at for residential. But I want to get it. There's so many opportunities still out there. And during a bad market, we're still getting opportunities. You're figuring out how to get deals, and I think the phone's starting to ring again.
Oh my gosh, the phone's ringing too much.
But that's the good news.
It's great. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I was on the ski lift and I'm getting off the ski lift, answered my phone. It's awesome. I love it.
That's the good news. Instead of you having to call people, they're starting to call.
It's so great. I love it. And everybody that I ask and everyone that I meet with, they all say the same thing, that they're very busy, and it's just a great feeling.
Well, good. It's fun. So anyhow, we're gonna have some more interesting people come on Chuck Chat soon, and I just wanted to kind of chat this week. Is just a weird time, but
super weird.
You know what? You get through it day by day. It's like the old saying: how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. You just got to get through it. So hang in there. We'll see you next time.